Good evening everyone, Ads here from Unity Trading Group. Welcome to your Thursday night update. Before we begin this evening, hit the like button, tap the subscribe button if you can, and of course tick the bell to stay updated on all of our content that's coming up soon. Well, if you're from Melbourne and you're in Victoria and you're in Australia, you would have more than likely heard that Victoria is going back into a lockdown, 7-day lockdown. As it stands, we'll soon find out if that will be extended. But my heart goes out to all the small business owners that will be doing it tough over the next 7 days. It could more than likely be longer. So if you're in Melbourne and you find yourself at home and you've got some disposable income, help out the small businesses that are around you. But that's not what we're here for. We're here for some BTC, some crypto news. So what are we looking at? Where are we going for Bitcoin? It, as it stands, hasn't had much of a movement since yesterday. So in yesterday's update, we spoke about this level of supply. We have broken or made our way through this level with some significance currently, and we have been rejected once on the 38.2. However, it's not significant enough to cause any sort of movement below the 23.6. So it's looking okay to me. We're still observing this very skewed, should I say, inverse head and shoulders pattern playing out on our chart on the 4 hour. We are still just keeping our heads above water in terms of the 50 RSI level for this specific time frame. So, in my opinion, and yes, it is my opinion, there's still upside potential for BTC in the immediate term. We've held above the 23.6, we've broken through or made our way mostly through this level of supply now, and it is short term. So the next level is the 50 Fibonacci at 44 or 45k, should we say, if we round it off to a little bit to the upside there. So not bad in my opinion here. There's still very much a suggestion that we could move to the downside. It would be a significant movement. And I think 30k is a very, very strong level of support in this instance where we find our level of demand. And that level of demand, and I will reiterate this, is on the most significant pivot point that we've seen in this market for, or as far as demands go, in the sense of the 4 hour time frame. So in my opinion, it will have a hard time breaking through this 30k level of support. That's why I am thinking that we'll more than likely see 50 in terms of the Fibonacci. 45k is where that level resides at, and you can see the validity of the 50 Fibonacci with some of the areas that we've tested and retested in the past, or on the left hand side of this chart. So all in all, looking okay for BTC. If we put Gravy Train on there, we're still moving around through that level in the way of the Gravy Train cloud, in the sense of the grey area that we form. Anyone who hasn't used Gravy Train before, grey typically means that we are, at a level of indecision, or even at a level of reversal. You can see on this time frame in particular, when we hit the grey area, we do tend to move through the other, or in the other direction. So we do have a grey, then turn green, again grey, and then turn red, grey, and then turn green, and then of course we had a very sharp movement down that caused that red area, and the cross down signal came up on our chart. So if you want to know more about Gravy Train and how it's used, you can find a few videos on our channel if you head over to that on YouTube, and of course you can find out more in the links down below in the description about Gravy Train. So BTC, that's where we're at currently. Not too much more to say in the sense of which direction we're going to go. All I can really observe is we've been, making our way through this level of supply, and as we've fallen down and had a little bit of a pullback on a smaller time frame, as you probably observe on a 30-minute, there you are, with having a pullback. That 23 Fibonacci level has been respected and it has been held currently, so it's looking okay for a retest of even the 38.2 immediately before we shoot for the 50 and the 61. So nice and short and sweet for BTC. Let's move on to Ethereum USD. So ETH USD in a very similar state. However, as you can see, as you can observe on this chart, we did move through this level of supply earlier this week, and we have been moving through and eating away that level entirely since then. In the respect of the RSI, I've been sitting above the 50, keeping our heads above water nice and easily there for Ethereum. So in my opinion, the 3062 mark at the 50 fibs, and even so the 61.8, which coincides even nicer again with some of the liquidity to the left hand side, looks okay to me. That's where I think we will go in the sense of Ethereum. We have had this formation playing out. We are sitting around that neckline again. Very, very loose neckline in that sense. However, it is there and it is loose, but we can observe it on the chart. It comes down to, you know, volume coming into this market now, as we've seen, and I don't show volume anywhere near enough on these live streams. On these streams, but we are observing a lower level of volume into the market currently. So we're waiting for that to increase, and more than likely, with volume comes price action. So we'll wait for that for ETH. Next one I want to have a look at, which is very important to me, is the BTC Dominance Chart. We are seeing a pullback now. It has gone down to the 61.8. It is where we, saw it going over the course of late last week. So I haven't charted this anywhere near enough. However, it's looking like we'll be held on the 61.8. It does look pretty weak to me in terms of the dominance chart. So it does that plays a nice fair picture for the altcoins, and it does fare well in the sense of alts. If we do continue to descend and then meet ourselves or find ourselves back at the 40% level for the dominance. So it's going to really tell a tale this evening if we can break through and head down towards our 78.6, and that will really be observed, first thing tomorrow morning as we all wake up here in Victoria, Australia. Once we do wake up, around 9 o'clock, 8:30, something like that, we will have our answer as to which direction the market will more than likely go in respect to the alts, of course. If we do head up from here, we'll be looking at the altcoins taking more of a tumble, as we've been observing here on the charts on the right hand side, as we are starting to move up from where we were. We were at 42.62, we are residing at 43.25. So as this continues to move up, possibly testing some liquidity up the top here around 50%, we'll see the altcoins give back some of that capital, and that will flow back into BTC as we see this chart move up. Not something that I'm hoping for, to be honest with you all. I would like to see the alts flourish. I'd like to see the run continue, but it is something that you must have on your radar, because it will tell a very important story about the altcoins and what direction they're going to be heading in. And if you are, trading alts in respect to spot trading and trading on Binance and all those other exchanges, of course, it's something that you want to keep on your radar, of course, as well as BTC USD, Ethereum USD, and all the other lighter altcoins as well that we all look at on a daily basis. The BTC Dominance Chart is going to be one that you would want to keep on your radar and chart up daily. As you would look at BTC, look at the dominance, see which direction we're going in, because even if you look at something like Gravy Train, it's going to give you the general direction of the market. Should you be trading altcoins when Gravy Train's in the red? Probably not a good idea. The market is slipping down. You are going to be losing capital out of the alt, so it's a good time to stay out. Alternative to that, if we I got that the wrong way around. If we are trading altcoins, you want to be trading altcoins during a lower movement to the downside. But in the sense of, when we start to move up on the altcoin market on the dominance, BTC is regaining that dominance, so we'll see the altcoin market start to descend. This is the area you want to be out of the altcoins. So it really does tell a story. And you can even use, if you don't want to use gravy train, you can even use moving averages, moving oscillators like this on a higher time frame will give you an overall direction, and it will give you an overall trend as to which, or as to whether you should be trading altcoins in general. Gravy train is a standout on something like this because it's a fantastic indicator to gauge trend, and it can be done on all time frames. So if you're trading on a lower time frame in the way of altcoins, you can observe the dominance on a lower time frame, and it will give you a very accurate representation of the way the market's going. If we're moving down, the altcoins are good to be trading. If we're moving up, the altcoins are not good to be trading, in the sense of spot trading is what I'm referring to there. So I do apologize for my error before. Down, we want to be trading alts. Up, we don't, of course. Regaining dominance, giving dominance back. So moving on, last one for this evening. I won't do XRP. We're safe enough to do it once or even twice a week. So we did it a couple of days ago. The next one I'll look at this evening is the DXY. Of course, this is a regulated market, not financial advice, just ideas and opinions of us here at UTG. And I'm very glad, if I'm to say the least, that I had this still drawn in the chart, this falling wedge pattern, because you can see not only the validity of gravy train in the sense of its cloud formations and how it's been coded, but the falling wedge pattern usually breaks to the upside, and that's what we've seen occur in this instance. We've failed to break through 1, 2, 3, 4 times, and now as we come down to the bottom of this pattern, we get squeezed into a corner, and there's only one way for this pattern to go, and it is to the upside. So we've seen that play out nicely. Gravy train giving all the credit there as well. If we are to see this continue to the upside, we do need it to retest that 90.23 area. You can see some of the support resistance flips in that area in particular. And of course, if we are to zoom in on a lower time frame, let's say the 1 hour time frame, you can quite easily draw your Fibonacci retracements, let's say from left to right, and we are getting caught and respected on the 38.2. Funny how that works so well as we draw from left to right. Like we always say, 38.2 is the most common area for an upside or an upwards movement or even a downwards movement to form a continuation, and that's what we're seeing on the chart currently. So all in all, looking at that 90.235 area where we find our resistances there for the DXY. But that concludes our update for this evening. Have a fantastic remainder of the week. That does me it for tonight. Thank you all for joining us. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.